September the 18th, 1931, Japanese and Chinese troops clash in Manchuria. This is how the Times reported the incident.
Collision at Mukden. Conflicting reports. City occupied by Japanese.
The next 4 days, Japanese forces occupied other Chinese towns within a 200-mile radius of Mukden. It was open war between China and Japan. The Chinese leader, Chiang Kai-shek, told his people that he had appealed to the League of Nations to help in the dispute. He said,
"The League of Nations was established to prevent war and bring collective action into play to stop aggression. We have immediately informed the League of the aggression and have asked it to obtain, as a first step, the immediate withdrawal of the invader."
The Japanese invasion of Manchuria was the first real test for the League of Nations as a force for world peace. Never before had it been called upon to adjudicate in a war between two of its member states. How would the League of Nations respond to the challenge posed by the conflict between China and Japan? Failure to intervene over Manchuria marked the beginning of the end of the League. Germany had been admitted in 1926, but in 1933, the new Nazi government under Hitler decided to withdraw from the League. But it was Italy and Mussolini that applied the final blow. In 1935, he took the decision to invade Abyssinia. This time, the League did impose limited economic sanctions, but to no avail. In May 1936, the Italians completed the conquest of Abyssinia.
As a peacekeeping organization, it was fatally flawed because of the absence of the United States and of the other great powers too at various times. When it came to the aggressions of Japan in 1931, the League was quite out of the reckoning. And when it came to stopping Mussolini in 1935, or Hitler in 1936 and 1938 and 1939, the League again was hardly considered. It had shot its bolt. As a peacekeeping force, it was ineffective. But it was ineffective not because of its organization, but because the nations which composed it were unwilling to take action. They had no stomach for the action that was required.
What is up, guys? Protobro here, infamous brother to Megabro. And as you can see from the year, it's July 1st, 1937. We now have triggered the option to do the Marco Polo Bridge Incident. This was an incident that occurred between the Japanese and the Chinese that really triggered, I think, the first really conflict of World War II. It was over this area right here. And what happened was the Japanese and the Chinese, very similar to, like, I guess, the North Koreans and South Koreans, where there was this bridge, and you had the forces of China facing the forces of Japan. There was some misunderstanding. Some shots were fired. Soldiers were injured or killed. And the Japanese kind of saw that as an aggressive act by the Chinese, and so they kind of engaged. And then it kind of snowballed from there. I can tell you that the Japanese never really wanted to be in China, I don't think. They essentially were engaged in conflict with the Chinese, and they never wanted to just surrender or give land back to the Chinese because they had lost so many troops, taking over areas like like you're going to see here with like Nanjing and so forth. But a lot of what happened up here was out of the government's control, and they kind of felt like they had to roll with it. As you can see here, this is my battle plan in terms of how to go. I've loaded up pretty much every single division available to me up here. My plan here is to really try and roll through, knock out Shaanxi as well as Communist China. Take these guys out as quick as I can, and then what I'm going to do is, sorry. I'm going to roll back and double back and push in here. So I'm a little worried because I've got to be able to extract these guys and then also backtrack with these guys quick enough before China has a chance to push all its troops up here. But the purpose of hitting here is that hopefully China will be moving all its troops up here. I'll hit here. He'll have to then double back, spreading him out, which will allow me to finish pushing down here. And then once he's kind of, I guess, effectively moved his troops east, I want to then once again jump down here south, knock out Guangxi, knock them out of the war, and kind of just bounce around. I have naval supremacy, so I might as well use it. As you can see, there's been some alliances made. Let's see, here's diplomacy. Oops. So the Republic of China is allied with Guangxi, People's Republic, Shaanxi, so on and so forth. So, in other words, that means here, here. Actually, not them. I don't think them. It's them, Republic of China, here, here, Yunnan, and then down here. Alright, so let's get started. And as you can see from production, I've currently been making these guys here some militia just because they're cheaper, some elite light infantry. This is really just to go with some militia that I had separated out, and then some aerial. This is going to drastically increase here once we war deck. And then what I've done is I've spread out. I've put a couple cavalry here in the event that I have rebellions or whatnot, and then I've spread out a lot of these single unit garrisons to protect areas such as these. So, you know, where I've got industry, I'm sticking guys here. That way, if I have some partisans rise up, they're not going to take out one of these areas, knock this down to 0, and that's going to cost me maybe a month's worth of production. I do have this exposed, which is a little concerning, but it only has 2. And this one's exposed, but for the most part, I have most of my areas covered. But for the most part, I don't have really, everything's right here. And then I also have my Navy right here, which I'm going to drop Marines into this spot. I'm going to try and knock this out super fast. I'm going to use the river as kind of a natural defensive position to hold that. And we're going to get started.